Howdy, all. So, we are here to talk about what we believe to be a very important issue facing all of us in the digital age. We would like to talk about metadata and its role in surveillance. First, let us define what metadata is. Simply put, metadata is data that provides information about other data. Therefore, the distinction between data and metadata is that metadata is an informative label about data which is piece of information about the subject by itself. For example, take the case of a phone call you recently took. Data would constitute of what you spoke to the caller or what the caller spoke to you. However, metadata is simply the information about who the caller was or when the call took place or what the call duration was. Every day through our each and every digital interaction, we leave a digital footprint of metadata, whether it is through web pages which log our IP addresses or through photos that we may upload on social media which may contain geolocation or information through geotags. Metadata can contain a lot of personal information that we may prefer remains private, but more than often we ignore the impact of metadata in our lives. Subject-based information may lack the context needed to build a perspective about a specific individual. But by tracking simple metadata, we can actually understand a lot about a person's habits, his social environment, and his daily routine. Take, for example, the case of Immersion. So Immersion is a web tool made by Deepak Jagdish and Daniel Smilkov of MIT Media Labs. When given access, Immersion can take simple metadata like dates, timestamps, CC information, etc. from users' emails and then can build a picture of the individual, like who is in the individual's professional and social network, who does the person interact with, and what is the degree of separation between individuals that the person interacts with. What the picture of this of the individual a simple tool like Immersion can build is highly extensive. Imagine what a government agency with authority to track more sensitive information could learn about you. My colleague Vamsi will shed more light on this.
Hi, I am Vamsi and I would like to present a case study related to European Union Data Retention Directive. In the summer of 2006, the European Union has passed a directive according to which the member states have to store telecommunication information of their citizens for a period of 6 months for minimum and up to 2 years. What this data includes is the IP addresses, email ID and timestamp of every email sent or received. For telecom companies, this would mean the phone number and the time and date of every phone call and text message sent or received. In addition, if you access internet over your mobile, then it would also store the location coordinates of the point of access. Security agencies can request access to this information and the request to grant permission would be decided by a court of law. Now, for a moment, let us analyze what this actually means. On a broader picture, this may only seem like a few records of data related to you. But when this information, when properly analyzed and organized, can determine many things related to you, such as your temporary and permanent residence addresses and the social network you have and the type of relationships you maintain. It is also possible to determine the route you take to the work and when you make a phone call along the way. So, when do you draw a line between national security and the right to privacy? Moving forward, Suraj will be presenting you another interesting case study. Thank you.
Now that we have a fair idea about what metadata is, we will go ahead discussing the use and misuse of metadata. Simply put, metadata is data about data that is contained in a digital file such as an email or a spreadsheet. It is not apparent when normally viewing the file, but it can be really useful, as in it provides information like the number of words in the document or the date it was last edited. But then there are other types of metadata that can be viewed with special tools. One such tool is called the metadata scrubber. This is a powerful tool that can provide information regarding the revision history of the document, and some powerful scrubbers can even reveal blocks of text that was deleted from a document. Now imagine if such a tool went into the wrong hands. Assume you are a lawyer in a law firm and your opposing counsel sends you a certain document for examination. Out of curiosity, You use the metadata scrubber and find comments that were never meant to be communicated outside of the office. Now there are basically two questions to be asked. Is it ethical on your part to have utilized the scrubber? The issue at hand is basically this. Is it appropriate to examine the document's metadata? And if I'm aware that the document contains revealing metadata, what should I do in response? Should I disregard it or should I inform the opposing counsel? This has been a problem for quite some time now. The District of Columbia Bar, in Opinion 341, adopted a look before you leap approach. This opinion basically states that a receiving lawyer is prohibited from reviewing metadata sent by an adversary only where he has actual knowledge that the metadata was inadvertently sent. In any case, the onus is on the counsel sending across documents to check whether metadata can be inadvertently revealed or not. In conclusion, the best rule is to develop best practices internally to keep metadata from escaping. Using PDF format instead of Word files or Excel files is a suggestion which will go a long way towards solving this problem. Now that we have this takeaway, Siddharth now will summarize what we have learned so far.
As we have seen from Abhinav's description of the immersion tool, just from the to, from, CC and timestamp data, there is a whole bunch of information that we can extract from a person's daily trends with the help of metadata. Metadata is about who you call and when, who sends whom an email, who sends whom a text message, and if you use your mobile phone, where you are at any point in time. It is when and where you swipe your credit card. It is about the recipients and the time of every single email that you send. It is a unique digital trail that we leave with every activity that we do. It helps us learn more about how one's interactions have changed over the years. What we have spoken about today is just the tip of the iceberg. There is a ton of other possible information that metadata can convey. Metadata can be used as a tool for self-reflection, to learn more about ourselves and to strategize our decisions about who we connect to. We should, however, be mindful that any third party that can get their hands on this data about us can learn plenty about us from it than we can imagine. There is a very thin line between self-reflection and a violation of our privacy. With ownership of data comes power, and this power that we should treat with responsibility. A Buddhist monk's words of wisdom seem to come to mind that truly encapsulate this double-edged nature of metadata. To every man that is given the key to the gates of heaven, the same key opens the gates of hell. Thank you very much.